Now, this caught my attention from Leon Lush. Now, if you don't know who Leon Lush is, he is a YouTuber. In fact, Leon Lush, I first found Leon Lush, I think, about a year ago, maybe a bit longer, when he was on like 50,000 subs. Now he's pushing 1 million now. He's pushing on to 1 million. Hold on. Why is this thing playing when I don't
getting
want
claimed
to
by UMG?
Wait, don't play when I don't want you to play. You play when I tell you. So yeah, now he's kind of blowing up. I guess he's in the ilk of H3H3, heavily inspired by that kind of commentary type thing. Commentary YouTube people, you know, YouTubers who make their career about talking about other people's stuff. Oh, that's not a diss. It's just a little joke. Just a little funny joke. But he has an issue that I've seen on his Twitter. Don't often go on Twitter neither. I'll just play it and then I'll get into it.
All right, UMG needs to be fucking stopped, all right? Every YouTuber I know has had like a video to 2 videos a week getting claimed by UMG. Some YouTubers, many more videos than that, just waking up to an email that 60 of their videos in their back catalog have been claimed by UMG. Doesn't matter the context, doesn't matter how long the song was used, whether it was fair use or not. I myself have been probably about 1 to 2 videos a week have been claimed by UMG, just picking off my entire catalog of videos one by one, trying to monetize my 14-minute video because there's 2 seconds of a fucking song licensed by UMG. Now let me give you a little example. So this is the latest video they claimed, and I don't want you to miss it, so pay close attention here.
Hearing a grown adult doing a baby voice always makes me want to punch the shit out of something. Oh man, I know I used this shtick last video, but who can relate? Woo! At least she does.
That was 1 second. 1 fucking second of Logic saying, who can relate? Woo! And they want to claim my whole fucking video and stuff that money in their greedy fucking pockets. Fuck you, UMG. Suck my...
Okay. Now, fair enough. Fair enough he's upset about that. I mean, I'd be pissed. I've had it done. But I've used way longer. In fact, on the next vlog I've done, I've used the majority of it Jenny Eco track, just 'cause I like the way it... I always wanted to do some slow-mo video to that tune. And that channel's not monetized anyway, so it's not like I get any fucking money out of it anyway. It doesn't matter to me. Just want to make something good, and whilst it doesn't matter, I will use it. When it does matter, then I probably will start caring. So, fair use. Now, the world of fair use is a little bit tricky, really, because in the YouTube world, I like the way I'm talking. I got his face like this. Yeah, keep that face. Look, in the YouTube world, fair use means something totally different to the rest of the entertainment world. Okay, fair use is different. If you were making a documentary, per se, okay, this is why I like YouTube, because I've made a couple of short little documentaries that on my Dystopian Limit channel where I've been able to do the audio, you know, create the narrative, talk about stuff. And I've been able to take clips from various sources and put it all together to be the spine of the video, with my narrative going over the top of it, the right images, and then manipulating it a bit. Now, if you were doing that as a I don't want to say a legitimate documentary maker, but if you were doing it and you were going to release it in cinemas, or you're going to put it on TV, you would have to contact every single owner of that footage. It's a fucking minefield. You have to get the go-ahead from everybody. You have to clear every single thing. But with the YouTube fair use model, it's different. Even though it's still something that is commercially viable. So I don't know how it works, because I swear if it's in documentary terms and you're doing the same thing, so say I take this Leon Lush clip, and then I take a few other clips and a few other clips and a few other clips, put it all together. If I'm releasing it in the cinema, it's a different story. I have to go down proper channels. But in the YouTube sphere, it's called fair use, and therefore I don't have to talk to anybody. They can come for me, as UMG have come for him and others, but I don't have to go to them. So afterwards, they can, if they feel they are owed something, they can come approach me. But it's fine otherwise. That's a fucking privilege. Let me just say, from someone who started off, you know, I've made documentaries, like short documentaries. Okay, let's not get it twisted. But when you're taught how to do it properly, you know, when I was at university, they're like, "This is how you do it properly," and we did it properly. And you got to, like I said, you got to go down the. It's like sampling music. You have, which is in reference to this. So I'll come back to that. You have to go down the proper channels. You have to speak to these people. You have to email these people. You have to find out who owns this, who owns that, who owns blah blah blah. You can't even look. No logo on this. In a film, in a documentary, everything commercially viable. If I had a big Nike logo here with a big tick, I might have to blur it out. You'll see it on YouTube. No, different rules, and yet it's still the same. It's still a commercially viable entity. So YouTubers have got it fucking. Yeah. I start off in the attack and I work way back. YouTubers have got it made. You've got it fucking made. You do not have to go through half the amount of effort, and you don't have to contact anybody really. With this fair use law, you can just pick this, pick that, do this, do that, and then all you have to say is, I have created something new, and therefore I don't owe royalties. Okay. That's the YouTube model. And like I said, from someone who wanted to make documentaries using other people's footage, and the freedom it allows you is fucking amazing. It's amazing amount of freedom. I can take this clip, like the clip I just played before, where it's my audio from my podcast, and I use someone else. I found some animations that style I liked, and all I did was just make it black and white. It was a color thing before. I made it black and white and slowed it down just so I could have my audio playing over it, and that's fine. No one's coming for me. They could come for me for that, but under fair use, it's okay. It's not plagiarism. It's an interesting sphere to be in. Now look, you're privileged. It's a privileged position. Like I said, I can make a documentary. I can talk about any subject I want. This is amazing for me, and I am working on a few documentaries like that. I can just use other footage, like longer ones. I've done some short ones, but I want to do a long one where I'm just using other people's footage and just my narrative playing over me talking and going through all the research and all the ideas. That's fucking great. It's great, but it's a fucking privilege. Do you know how fucking lucky you are to be able to do that? Now I know all this Article 13 stuff is coming around the corner in Europe, where that might be taken away, and I'm kind of in two minds. I'm totally against it, but also I think a lot of YouTubers need to understand how easy they have it. There are like documentary filmmakers out there looking at stuff on YouTube and what they're doing, where there are people who've built $1 million careers of just taking someone else's video, breaking it up, and just talking about it. Okay, now obviously you could put it as it's like the news. You know, the news does similar things, reviewers do similar things, but when you're taking someone else's shit, if your whole career is based on talking about other people's careers, you're talking about what they're making, criticizing what they're making jokes out of what they're making. Yeah, I guess there is satire and there's this, but it's different. It's different to I've watched so many reaction and commentary type things where I am more interested in the video they're talking about than what they have to fucking say about it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me how many times you've watched something and gone, oh yeah, the commentary that they made on it wasn't quite as fascinating as what they're talking about. Like some real fucking crazy shit. Some crazy stuff they're talking about. It'll be a crazy video that's absolutely nuts. You're like, who the fuck made this? And their commentary is like, oh yeah, look at this. It'll be like, you're not really interested. Like, yeah, get on with it. Like a music, some of it's like a fucking musical. You know, you just want the story to go on. You're like, please, can you just get on with the fucking story? Yeah, what happens next? What, you're about to kill this guy? What happens now? It's like, oh, here I go again. You're like, the songs are a fucking distraction. It's the story. Get rid of the songs. That's what some of this commentary shit is like. I know I've got Leon Lush right here. I'm not saying that's him. I'm not saying it's not just against him. I just haven't got anything else to put in the background right now. Okay. This is my jump off. Okay. So you're privileged, okay? You YouTubers who are you're very privileged because other entertainment industries don't have the luxury that you have, okay? You got it fucking easy. Easy money. Like I said, I'm all for a lot of it. But just understand how privileged you are, okay? Understand how easy you have it, and you shouldn't really complain that much. Now let's go to the whole music thing, because yes, he's right. UMG, if you don't know, UMG is Universal Music Group. Universal Music Group is the biggest record label on planet Earth. They used to be the big four, and before then there was the big whatever. Now there's only big three. There's only really 3 record labels on fucking planet Earth in the Western world, as far as I know. I don't know what goes on. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. But for us in the Western world, like westernized music, there's 3 record labels. There's Universal, Sony, which is Sony BMG, and Warner. Now Universal are the biggest. Universal owned about, it's something like almost 10 years ago, something like almost 2/3, so it must be 2/3. Universal own everything. Universal are fucking huge. So under the UMG umbrella is thousands of record labels, many record labels you love, many you hate, but they own it all. They own practically everything. UMG is a fucking what's the word? They're a megalith. Is that the name? Megalith? Obelix? They're just fucking massive, mate. And yeah, anytime I've had any music thing claimed, it's been by UMG. And even when by something I didn't know that was part of UMG. There's a few examples I could come up with, but I can't be bothered right now. No, I'm joking. But yeah, UMG are the worst for it. They are the worst for it, and they always have been. But like I said, I've used longer than 1 second. I've done mixes and put them out, and they've just been totally muted. Like in one of my comedy podcasts, I used Memphis Bleak. Memphis Bleak is what? Memphis Bleak is money. Memphis Bleak is murder. Memphis Bleak is drugs. Fucking tune. And then after about 3 years, it'd been out there. Then suddenly they just claimed it, but they not just claimed it. They muted the entire. They didn't claim it actually. They muted. So I used like about 10 seconds of it. And they muted the entire podcast, like you couldn't listen to none of it. I was like, what the fuck? At least just claim it. And I was like thinking, well, Jesus, this is a podcast I put out in like 2014. Like, who the fuck is checking for Memphis Bleak in 2014? It's like, I'm putting Memphis Bleak back on the fucking map. Like, none of the people that listen to my podcast know who Memphis Bleak is. It's like, I'm making them know who he is. Where's my... And you've muted him? You've deprived Memphis Bleak of a few hundred new fans, possibly. Really? That's the best way to go about it? What a bunch of twats. But they are notorious for it. But fair use. You want to talk about fair use. The music industry is a desperate, dying whore that has no hope of survival. So the music, you can use anything on YouTube, and you'll be all right. There are some, networks out there and certain organizations that will go for you, but you can. It's not as much as music. Anything music related, because there's so little money in music. There's so little money in the music industry. They are just a desperate whore, and whatever you have used, you could even just honestly. I've had stuff claimed. It's like I didn't even know the music was on there, and I was like, because I videoed something, I was walking through somewhere, I didn't even hear the song, and they've claimed it. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how desperate they are. They are fully on it because they have so little money stream. There's such little revenue coming into the music industry. They're just like, where is it? Where's it at? Where's it at? They're like they're a crackhead on Boxing Day. They're just like, where's the, saying, what? Has your dick been sucked? Has your dick been sucked? Has your big dick? Are you smoking that? Do you want that cigarette? Like fucking, they're robbing the shoelaces out of your fucking shoes so they can get like, literally just get two pipes. Here's how many pipes can you get for these shoelaces? Fucking, I don't know, a quarter of a pipe. Right, I'll be back. Back for another 10-man shoes. That's the music industry. Desperate and poor as fuck. Now, if you want to talk about, so that explains that. Now, if you want to talk about fair use, then the fair use you're talking about with YouTube, it doesn't exist in the music industry, okay? There is a myth that you can use 4 seconds. Okay, you can use 4 seconds of someone's tune before it can be be a copyright claim. I think that's more of a thing that on YouTube you can use 4 seconds or less without some sort of bot being able to pick it up. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. That's my theory. I don't know if I've heard that before or that's just my theory, but I think that's where everyone's got it from. Is that you can use, because I do it all the time, and yeah, you don't get picked up because I think you can use a certain amount of time, and the bots aren't searching. Maybe the algorithm or their searching hasn't become that intelligent yet. But it's a myth. Now some people think it's 7 seconds. You can't use any amount of time without being copyrighted, okay? Any amount of time on a tune that you use, you can get copyrighted. They can take your shit, okay? This is the music industry. Blurred Lines, one of the biggest hits of fucking, that came out the first time I came to Thailand. Hey, when that came out, biggest hit of the year, was that 2014? Now they just said it sounded like fucking Gotta Give It Up by Marvin Gaye. They took all of the money. They took all the fucking money. This is the music industry. They will take everything. Doesn't matter. They will take all of your shit. They are like the Mexican cartel of the fucking entertainment industry. The Mexican cartel is like, how much money did you owe? 2,000? Right, I'm killing you, your dog, your wife, your kids. Fucking, you got any sperm stored anywhere? I'm setting fire to it. I'm killing your gran. I'm killing your gran's gardener. I'm killing that motherfucker that waved it to you last weekend. I'm killing him too. You're all dead. That's the music industry. So, now I trawled through it and I found this is from LegalZoom.com, and it says, it is a myth that you can sample a particular length of work, such as 4 bars or 7 seconds of a song, without getting into trouble with copyright protection laws. The law is a bit more complicated. It is best to ask permission from the copyright holder before sampling a piece of music or other copyrighted materials, such as literature, film or artwork. If your use of another's work falls under the category of fair use, you may be able to use it without permission, but if you're wrong about how much of the original work you're allowed to sample, you could face serious fines in court. So fair use is subjective, as far as I can see. It's subjective of how much you can use. Someone might let you use an entire album and consider it fair. It's when it comes to fucking court. It's always about what you can prove in court. And let's not forget that Leo Cohen was employed by YouTube to bring record labels and YouTube closer together in terms of making money. Okay, Leo Cohen's been in the game for fucking donkey's years. Leo Cohen is a very smart cookie. Leo Cohen, I'm pretty sure, would have made it even easier for record labels to copyright strike people. You don't bring in Leo Cohen without making sure he's going to be doing something. You know, and he'd have no problem with it because he's a guy for the music industry has been raped. It's been raped, beaten in the street and spat on. So yeah, if Leon Lush loses 1 second worth of Logic's tune, they're gonna get their fucking money back. It's just how it is. Let's read on. Fair use law. Oh, let's try. Without permission, generally you can use a sample of another artist's creation if it falls under the fair use doctrine. The law does not provide that you may use the specified amount of material, such as a number of paragraphs or text or seconds of music, before you're in violation of copyright law, meaning the copyright holder could sue you for using even a small amount of material. It's all about who owns it and what they are and what they're fine with. A very good example is Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve, massive #1 hit, which the Rolling Stones eventually sued them and I think they got all the royalties for that song because they said it used elements of one of their songs, but they didn't even go for it when it first came out. They waited for it to go to #1 and for it to stay at #1, and they waited for the money to clock up. They waited until it was worth it. They didn't do nothing before then. They waited until the money was good, then they went for it, and they fucking took everything. Because before then, the legal fees and just everything that would have been involved, it wasn't worth it. It was like, yeah, okay, fine. But when it became worth it, it's like, well, if I spend this much with the law firm, I'll get this much. Okay, let's go, baby. That's what they did. It's all about the copyright holder, you numbnuts motherfucker. Come on, wise up. It's all about the copyright holders. Instead, courts will consider a number of factors, including the purpose of the use, the nature of the work being sampled, how much of the original was used, and the impact on the original work. Use that is non-commercial but instead for non-profit educational purposes is more likely to be considered fair use. Courts also will consider if the copyright holder is impacted by your use of the sample, such as if the public is less likely to purchase the original album or of music because they can access the music through your new composition. Even if your use of another's work falls under the definition of fair use, you are generally only allowed to use a portion of the work as necessary, such as limiting your quotes from a book as needed for your scholarly paper. Like even writing essays will get you in fucking court. Asking permission. The US Copyright Office recommends that if you are at all in doubt as to whether your use of copyright material is fair use, you should ask permission from the copyright owner to use the material. Again, without permission, you are limited to using only the amount of material that is necessary. You cannot replicate someone else's work substantially without permission. It is not always the creator of the work who owns the copyright. Often music is owned by a publishing company, for example. Of course. Now, in addition, if you want to use an actual recording of the song instead of a re-recording your own version, you must obtain permission from the copyright holder of the song recording as well, which is often a recording studio or label. And of course you can license music. That's why, you know, in the UK we have PRS and PPL. These are organizations created to protect people's fucking shit. So look, paying for a license. If copyright holders allow you to use their work that doesn't fall under the fair use exception, which they are not required to do, they may charge a fee for the license which allows you to use the sample. So look, if the copyright holder allows you to use their work that doesn't fall under the fair use exception, which they are not required to do, the cost for a license is not mandated by the law and can vary significantly based on the artist and your use of material, such as the length of the sample you want to use. You may be charged a flat fee to use the sample, or you may pay based on how many productions, such as records, you create or sell. You may seek the help of an attorney, that's a solicitor to you and me, to track down the copyright holder and negotiate a license agreement. If you sample something without permission, it is possible that the copyright holder will bring a lawsuit against you. Courts have not provided specific rules as to when sampling is considered infringement, although samples used in parody, education, or research are more likely to be considered fair use. Well, I mean, that's also subjective as well. It's like if you look at, who's it, Bart Baker, who does all those parodies and he uses the original music from it. He has to have, I mean, to make a career out of that, because it's high production as well. He you know, he's got to know his shit. He's got to have a good lawyer and someone, or a manager, someone with connections within the industry that says this is good for you as it is for me. Like, this is good for both of us. Like I said, Universal Music Group will not give a fuck about Leon Lush using 1 second of a track, or anyone, all the other people that he's referenced in that video that have been struck by UMG. They won't give a fuck. You used it, they want the fucking money, because otherwise you have to go. It's a court thing. You have to go to court. It's about going to court. It's you versus them. Who's gonna fucking win? Who's got the time? Who's got the resources to go to court? This is why they can do it. Now there is a very good. I'll give you a good example. So Brian Henry was one of my tutors at. I went to ACM, Academy of Contemporary Music. I did music production, HND. Brian Henry used to play keyboards for Mark Morrison. Return of the Mac. Yes. He did. He's in the fucking music video. Brian Henry knew a guy from Hackney who did a remix for a Motown compilation CD, like a Motown anniversary CD, and he did a remix. I can't remember who the art. Maybe Smokey Robinson, maybe Marvin Gaye. He did a remix of one of their tunes and it was on this compilation. Now, ends up that Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the last big tune he did as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was just Boom Boom Shake the Room. That was a fucking #1 hit in this, not in Thailand, well maybe it was, I don't know. But in the UK and the USA, massive worldwide smash, made millions, bro. Boom Boom Shake the Room. Produced by... I'm pretty sure it's Poke and Tone. Boom Boom Shake the Room. I'm pretty sure Poke and Tone produced Boom Boom Shake the Room. Is it Poke and Tone? Because these are the ones that got sued anyway. Who produced Burn? Who was it? So Mr. Lee, DJ Jazz, Victor Manuel Cook and Jeffrey Towns. I'm so sure it was Poke and Tone. But that's what Brian said anyway. Anyway, these motherfuckers produced it, right? One of them might be the guy. Can't remember the guy's name. So basically, Geezer that makes the remix for the Motown record. And he's a guy from Hackney. He ain't got a lot, he's not a big musician. This is his big break, this is his big thing. And then he hears the tune, Boom Boom Shake the Room. Like I said, it was number 1 in the UK for like 4 or 5 weeks. Hears a tune and goes, oh, I can hear so it's the musical composition that he did himself for the remix. It's not like he used someone else's music. He composed the music to put to the remix. So it's his composition is on this fucking tune. He takes those motherfuckers, takes the record label, everyone, to court to get a chunk of those royalties. And this guy, and apparently it was like quite a rare case because he fucking won. So they had all these big, massive lawyers, music industry lawyers come in. This is like third-hand information. I'm saying this, but all these big, loud lawyers come in, going, yeah, well, no, it's bullshit. And he's just there with, I don't know, with his brother or something. He's got some shitty lawyer expert, but they won. Because it's what they could prove in court, and he had all the original stems, he had all the original compositions, and he got paid like millions. He went from earning absolutely shit all to just suing Will Smith and co, and he got millions for it. He got millions, and that just set him up. Because it's what you can prove in fucking court. So even the big boys are trying to rip off the little boys. If you can prove in court that that was worth doing because he got a big payout. Do you think Leon Lush is going to take? I mean, Logic signed to Def Jam, which is owned by which is owned by Universal. So essentially, how many people are going to be in that courtroom on their side? Like, you're going to go against them and say, my 1 second, this 1 second, is it worth it for 1 second of tune on one YouTube video that is here today, gone tomorrow? And that's what a lot of YouTube videos are. Here today, gone tomorrow. Is it worth going to court over to disprove them? No. And that's why Universal Music will do what the fuck they want. Because fair use means nothing to these motherfuckers. If it was fair use, they tell you. But they don't think it's fair. They're broke. They need the money. Let them have it. But there you go, man. And I'm pretty sure I've sort of thrown Leo Cohen in there because I know Leo Cohen was employed to be part of YouTube Music, and I'm pretty sure he would have greased the wheels to let people go for more people for more royalties. Because look, royalties are dealt with in a very small amount of way in the music industry. You get paid for plays on radio through PRS and PPL in the UK. You get paid a certain amount per play, and it can be pennies. You can get royalty checks for like 8p, 2p, or like 5 cents, whatever currency you're talking in. You can get royalty checks for that little amount of money, because that's the industry. Everything, you're getting paid for every little bit, residuals from everything. So yeah, if you've got 1 second on your video, they'll look at it. He's almost got 1 million. I think he's got like 800,000 or so subscribers. So let's say in an ideal world you'd be averaging 800,000 views per video. Possibly not. Well, actually no, at his level, yeah. Because when you get to over 10 million subscribers, you don't get 10 million per video. It's just people subscribe and forgot about it. So you can get an 800k, and they'll look at it and go, well, based on the length of the video and the advertising revenue, and Leo Cohen will be there going, yeah, well, I've been looking at all of this. I can't do Leo Cohen's voice probably. I've been looking at all this, and I crunched the numbers. So he owes you at least this much money. You go get it. They could say, it's worth this much money. Comparative. I'm pretty sure YouTube advertising money is probably worth more than Spotify streaming money. I would like to look into that properly, because they're both there's so many variables in both. It's here and here and here and here and here, but I'm sure someone in the know, as much as Leo Cohen or anyone he brings around him, or any sort of liaisons Universal Music Group has with YouTube, someone will be able to tell them the right amount. This is how much his video is worth. He's got 1 second of your tune. You can go get that legally. It's yours. And they will fucking go get it. Because fair use is subjective. There's no such thing as 7 seconds or 4 seconds or whatever it is. You can just get away with it without them finding it. But some people are at a level where they've come for one of my videos. It had fucking 100 views. They took the lot and they muted it. They didn't even want the money. Maybe it's Jay-Z and hates Beanie. Maybe Jay-Z hates, not Beanie Siegel. Maybe Jay-Z hates Memphis Bleak now. I was like, don't want that motherfucker to get any exposure or any money no more. Fuck this cunt. I'm going to shut down your entire channel just because I hate Memphis Bleak now. Who knows why? Fucking retarded, like.